Hello, this is Ariadne Rainbird, and I'm going to be talking about the elm tree and the elm tree spirit now. The elm tree has a Latin name, Ulmus campestris, which is the English elm, or Ulmus glabra, which is the witch elm. It can correspond to the Ogham alim, which also is sometimes given the correspondence of silver fir or Scots pine. Another possibility for an Ogham associated with the elm is which is often given the correspondence of the heather. It has the planetary correspondences Mercury and Saturn, and elemental correspondences water and earth. English elm, Ulmus campestris, once dominated the English countryside, but now, unfortunately, is rarely seen due to being almost wiped out by Dutch elm disease. I remember when I was at school in the 1970s, at primary school, my school playground was surrounded by elm trees, which I used to love to play in, and I remember how sad I felt when those elm trees were cut down due to Dutch elm disease at that time. So it's quite difficult to find English elms these days. Witch elm, Ulmus glabra, is the only species of elm which is definitely native to Britain. And they are a little bit easier to find, but though they also have been affected by Dutch elm disease. Wych elm is a large deciduous tree which can grow up to 40 metres in height and can live for 400 years. It often has large branches coming off the main trunk from quite low down the tree, so that it has a broad spread. The bark is pale grey and smooth when young, but becomes darker and fissured with age. Elm leaves grow in alternate pattern on the branches and vary in size. They have an asymmetrical base and their edges are double-toothed with large and small teeth and are rough and hairy to the touch. The leaves are very bright green, a bright emerald green when young. And the colour slowly gets duller with time, then they turn a bright yellow in the autumn. The flowers are reddish purple and appear in clusters in early spring and are wind pollinated. Once pollinated, they grow into oval-shaped fruits called samaras, which have a flattened wing around the seed. Elm trees support a variety of insect life, including the white-letter hairstreak butterfly, which feeds exclusively on elm. But whilst once common, their numbers were greatly reduced due to the occurrence of Dutch elm disease. In Celtic myth, elms are associated with the other world and have a special affinity with elves who guard burial mounds, the dead, and passageways to the underworld. Like willow, elm wood is very pliant, and the witch in wych elm refers to its pliancy and may be related to the word witche, which derives from words meaning to bend and is related to the modern words witchcraft and Wicca. Both elm and yew are connected with death and the underworld, and both were used to make longbows. The Ogham alim is associated variously with the Scots pine, silver fir and elm. In modern Irish, the elm is called Cran Ur, making it a good candidate for the tree represented by the Ogham Ur. Phrase Oghams for Ur are in cold dwellings, most devoted sharing, propagation or dripping of plants, and shroud of a lifeless one. Elm is well adapted to damp and cold conditions and is full of sap, and is a tree which is associated with death and the underworld. Elm wood was used to make coffins in England. As their divinatory meaning, elm trees mean inner strength, endurance, intuition, wisdom, adaptability, and thriving amidst change. Using one's intuition to guide one to survive and adapt amidst difficulties, coming to terms with death, loss and change, and drawing strength from them. I will now say a prayer to the elm tree spirit, followed by a guided meditation to connect with the elm tree. Prayer to the elm tree spirit. O ancient guardian of wisdom, elm of deep-rooted strength,
I stand beneath your sheltering limbs and seek your wild and knowing breath. Shadow weaver, keeper of untamed grace, teach me the patience of your steady bows, the fierce freedom in your twisting form, the silent power in your whispered vows. Let your emerald robe enfold my soul. Lend me the quiet courage of your shade, that I may walk where spirits roam, and fear not the paths the wild winds made. By bark and leaf, by wind and stone, I honour thee, witch of the woodland throne. May your wisdom root within my heart, and your wild beauty never depart. I'm now going to lead a guided meditation on the wisdom of the elm tree. If you can find an elm tree to meditate with, that would be really good, but it is quite difficult to find elm trees these days due to Dutch elm disease. But you can connect with the elm in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath and settle into stillness. Let your body find comfort in the earth beneath you, as if your roots too wish to sink deep into the soil. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing before an ancient elm tree. Its towering form stretches towards the heavens. Its gnarled roots entwined with the mysteries of the land. As you inhale, feel the elm's strength flow into you. Its wisdom, gathered from centuries of wind and storm, its resilience etched into every branch. Now reach out in your mind's eye and place your hand upon its bark, feeling the ridges and grooves beneath your fingers that pulse with quiet energy, steady and enduring. Breathe in the scent of earth and leaf, the wild magic of the untamed woods. Let it fill your lungs, your bones, your spirit. Listen. Beneath the rustling of leaves, you hear a whisper. It says, "Stand firm, be patient, grow in your own time." The elm tree offers its lessons freely. It teaches you to trust the unseen, to hold both shadow and light within you, to walk the wild paths with quiet confidence. Feel the elm tree's emerald strength envelop you like a cloak of deep peace and knowing. Carry this presence with you as you return. Awakened to the steady rhythm of nature's wisdom. When you're ready, open your eyes, feeling grounded and renewed. Reflect on your experiences and then write them up in your journal or magical diary.